Hey everyone, Jen at Ink Paper Rubber coming to you on a rainy Tuesday evening. Weather's not quite as nice as when we were last together on Saturday, but at least it's not cold outside, and I am grateful for that. So it is springtime after all, and this is what we get. So, going to give everybody a couple minutes to jump on here. I got a shipment on Sunday, actually. I was a little bit surprised. I knew it had shipped on Friday, and it usually takes a couple business days. But sure enough, I checked my FedEx tracking, and it said that it was going to be delivered on Sunday. So since it came in, I thought that we would go ahead and throw in a little midweek Facebook Live for you. Apologize for the time. I know probably 6 o'clock isn't the most convenient time in the world. It's dinner time for everybody. Hey there, Kelly. But the fact of the matter is, once I get done with my Facebook Live, I have to spend some time collecting everybody's orders and putting them together so I can take them home and get all the invoicing out. Hey there, Jan. And if I made it any later in the evening, by the time I got home, it would be late. Wouldn't get to spend any time with my hubby since I worked all day. So anyhow, 6 o'clock it is. I hope it's not too inconvenient for you. If you miss it live, you can always come back and watch it later. This is not a classroom clearance sale, which means that most of these items, I have more than one of them. So it's not quite such a big deal to jump in there and get everything you want. Hey, Fran. Hey, Jan. So just quick review. I think most of you have been on here before. Hey, Lynette. Same deal. If you see something you want, just comment sold and what the item is. If you want me to ship it, comment ship. You only need to do that on one item, and I'll just assume you want all of your items shipped if you purchase more than one. And a lot of you have already made purchases from me, and I have all your info, but if not, after the video, send me a message with your email address so I can send you an invoice. And if you want me to ship, send me your shipping address. I also might comment on shipping. I think the shipping has been going pretty well. So far, I've only had one person say that she did not get her package, even though it said it was delivered. I do have shipment tracking on all of these, and you all probably should have gotten the shipment tracking when I prepare the shipping. It should send you an email with the tracking number in it so you can kind of keep an eye on things. But if you have any issues, let me know. Fortunately, this lady is one of those communities that has the large lockbox, and so I know that it wasn't just stolen off of her front step, so we're working with the post office to track it down. But anyhow, let's get going. I don't have any more information on when we're going to be able to reopen. Still waiting to hear on that, what Johnson County and Kansas are going to decide to do. So for now, same thing. We can either hold it for you until we reopen, or maybe we'll be able to offer curbside pickup before too long, or we can ship it to you. So let us get going and let me show you what we got. So first thing I want to show you is a restock and one new item from the Craft Consortium Cottage Garden line. We got this first in a few weeks ago, and it has been very popular. We've sold out a lot of the items. I did get back in these cute little bees. These are actually little wooden bee that you can use to attach to your projects. It is $5 and you get 30 of these little bees, and we have those back in stock now for $5. We also have, I still have some of the pearls in stock. These match the papers in the Cottage Garden paper line. I am currently out of those papers, but I have more of them coming. You get 80 self-adhesive pearls for $5. We also have the little wooden shapes here for $5. You get 10 different pieces. They are actually wood with the little different images on them. You can see the little garden shed and a little house. Over here you can see the boots with the little birds, the picket fence. And we did get one new item in with this, and these are the 3D decoupage, and these are punch-out sheets. You can see here they are just cardstock, and you get a lot of the images from there, and you get a total of 10 sheets in there. There are 5 different designs, and you get 2 sheets of each design. They're already all pre-cut. This is the 3D decoupage sheets, and those are $6 for those. So those are all things from the Craft Consortium Cottage Garden line. Next in, we got some, and I also still have one of this stamp set. This was the latest stamp set that I got in that is called Green Fingers, and that stamp set is $7. All right, got in some new Doodle Pops. I know we have a lot of Doodlebug lovers out there, and I will be honest right now, I'm not really ordering in very much 12 by 12 paper. It's not something that's really all that easy to ship, and it gets expensive for how much the paper costs just because of the size of box you have to ship it in. So I've either been ordering 6 by 6 paper pads, but I did want to get some of these Doodle Pops in. This is from one of their newer paper lines, and these are so cute. These are little 3D cardstock stickers. You can see you get a number of different ones. Stickers on here. This particular one is called Tons of Fun. Each of these is $2.25. So this one has this cute little elephant with his party hat, and you see we have some stars and confetti. We also have this one, which is really sweet. This one is called Yappy Birthday. And you can see here we have the little puppy with his party hat. We've got a ball and a bone and some more stars. That is Yappy Birthday, and it's $2.25. This one is called Monkey Business, and here we have the party monkey. I love it. He's wearing roller skates and a balloon. That's just what they call it, 3D decoupage. You know what? Let's just go ahead. Probably should have done this when I had two hands free. But let's see if we can open this up, because I'm not sure if you get sheets. Sometimes with the 3D decoupage, you get sheets that you can layer together, and these may just actually be cardstock stickers, which I think is all they are. And, well, nope, that's not true. If you look at this one says layer 1, and then here we have layer 2. So I would use these with some thin foam tape. So this one doesn't have all of that image, so you can pop that up on top of that. And there the B is layer 2, and then we have a layer 3, which has a little bit less, and then finally we have layer 4. So it does actually let you create a 3D image on top of here. So on each sheet you have the base image and you have the different layers that go on top of it, and you can see that you get 2 of each of the designs. And we'll just go through since I have them open. So here you can see the little mouse and the bird on the pots, and again you have your different layers so you can layer them up. We had some of these in the past, but it's been a while since we had any of these. This one here is the little cottage garden house and the watering can with the bird, and again you get the layers, and they actually look really nice once you get all these layers built up. So in a lot of ways, they're kind of like this, a little bit more intricate, but how you have the different layers that pop up at different depths. And then this one here, the little mouse with the pot of flowers. And see, like here you can see the mouse with the ears, but then each one of these layers has a little bit less. But of course you can see the layers beneath it. And here is the last one with the potting shed and the layers that go with that. So good thing you asked that question. It's good to take a look at it, and we got a little bit closer look at exactly what it does. All right, so let's go ahead and let's jump back over here to our Doodle Pops. And we had the monkey called Monkey Business. He is roller skating, and he has got a balloon. Then we have this one here that is Make-A-Wish, and this has the birthday cake, and you also have candles, so you can put however many candles you want on your birthday cake. This cute little one is called Hedgehogs, and you can see we have the hedgehogs and the cupcakes. And finally we have Party Llama. And we have the llama And we also have the packages. All right, see, good thing I opened that setup. Right now everybody knows what that is. Okay, so I have shown you these a couple times. I showed them to you on Saturday. We had gotten in these Nuvo brushes. I love ink blending brushes. They are great to use with inks, whether you do it just to create a background or whether you use them with stencils. But I got in this new brush here. This is just a single brush, and see if I can take this out. I should have done this ahead of time. It would have been a lot easier. This is actually a brush and a holder together. So it comes with this little holder, and this is actually a little heart shape, and this just slides out of the holder. Again, it's easier said than done with one hand. I'm not sure I can do it with one hand, but because you don't want it to fall out. But this is this holder it sits in, and it comes out, and this is actually a blender brush in here, and you can see it's quite a bit larger. It's in heart shape, doesn't really matter, but this one you just hold like this and do your blending like that. So I thought these were kind of fun. A little bit different than the other ones. You hold on to them a little bit differently. Some people might find it easier to hold on to it like that rather than to have to hold on to the brush handle. So I thought that we would give these a try. So that is the Heart blending brush, and those are $12.50. And just like all the brushes, you can wash these so that, I know it looks red, it hasn't been used, that's just the way these come, I think because of the heart. But you of course can wash these out so you can use them with all different colors. Next up, I have a new die from Studio Light. I think on Saturday we looked at some of their stencils, and I thought that this looked like a really interesting die. This one is called Sweet Flower, and what you get with it is you get this flower-shaped outline die that cuts out, and then it does your score lines here around the middle. And so what these are is these will actually fold all in to a petal shape, and you also get a separate die here that you can see in the center, which is a little bit smaller, so you can do a mat in the center of your little folded card. And then finally you get this little lacy flower inset piece. That is a separate die, so you can use it or not. You can not use it at all. You can use it on all of the flaps like they show here, or you can use it on just some of the flaps. So this just makes a fun little fold up card here that folds out into this fun flower shape. This is the Sweet Flower die, and that is a bargain at just $11.50. Next, I have a couple new items from Simon Hurley. Simon Hurley is a designer for Ranger. He is a young man, and I haven't had any of his products before, but these were a couple of new things that I thought were really, really fun. This first one is a stencil, and it is called Bubble Wrap, and you can just see it's kind of all these fun irregular circles, kind of like what you would get if you inked up some bubble wrap and then were to stamp it down. So this is the Bubble Wrap stencil, and it is $5.50. We also have a background stamp, and just now as I'm looking at this, I'm realizing something really interesting about this stamp. This stamp is called Jewel Heist, and it is $16. And if you look at it really closely, it actually looks like you get two separate stamps. Can you kind of see there where it is cut in that along the diamond shape there? And so that actually gives you two for the price of one. You can use as a border stamp, or you can use them both together for an overall background stamp. I see I missed Manna, but I see she must be on here because everybody's saying hi to her. Let me show you really quickly. So there is a sample with that Jewel Heist stamp. When I saw that, even before I realized, and actually I said it was 2 stamps. I think it's actually 3 stamps, because there you can see where it looks like it's cut out, and then also down here. So you get the 2 borders and you get that centerpiece, or you can use them all together. So lots and lots of possibilities with that stamp. There is a really fun image. I knew that this one would be one that would be a lot of fun to color with. And here you can see a fun little background created using the bubble wrap stencil background. All right, I am going to show you a lot of this stuff are things that we've had before. I showed you before, but we got in either a restock or some other new pieces, and I just thought that we would go ahead and go through it again. First of all, I want to mention that we got the Gilded alcohol ink alloy back in stock. This is the gold color, and we had sold out of that, but we have that one back in stock, and we do currently have all 5 of the alloys in stock. In addition to the Gilded, there is also Sterling, and this one is Mind, which is a beautiful kind of rosy coppery color. We have Statue, which is a bronzy color. And then we also have Foundry, which is a little bit more of a tarnished silver than the Sterling is. And I believe those are $6 each. We also got back in the Antique Linen Distress Embossing Glaze. So Jan, I've got one of each of those 2 things here for you. The Distress Embossing Glazes are really fun. They work like a regular embossing powder, but they have a translucency to them. I understand Tim has been doing some demos here recently. I haven't had a chance to watch any of them, but doing some fun things with the embossing glaze. And so this is the Antique Linen. These are $6.50 each. And I just wanted to show you the other colors that we currently have in the embossing glaze. We have Tattered Rose, and we have, this one is Rusty Hinge, and these are just the normal distress colors. So if you're familiar with those, you kind of know what color they are. This one is Walnut Stain, so this is the very deep dark brown. We also have Fossilized Amber, and we have Fired Brick, and I will show you some alloy samples and some embossing glaze samples here in a minute with the rest of the Tim items. So we did get in the last of the Chapter 2 dies that we were waiting on. This one is called Baggage Claim. It is a Biggs die, so it is one of the thick steel rule dies. It is $20, and you can see lots of parts that you get to it up there that you can mix and match to create these fun kind of vintage cases, suitcases here. I'm sure there's lots of other fun things that you could do with them, just like with the, I remember with Christmas time with his little elf with the packages, and one of his designers had turned those packages into books in the Haunted Mansion, and we used that idea on our version of the Haunted Mansion. So this is the Baggage Claim Biggs die. And we also got the Happy Hour die in. This one was very popular. It's lots of fun. You get all these pieces up here to let you create your own beverages, whether you want to make alcoholic beverages or not. And I thought I would just go ahead and go over really quickly the other Chapter 2 items. We still have a lot of them in stock. This one is the new 3D embossing folder. It is called Brickwork. It is $10. And this one is really amazing. Here I have a sample of it, and you can see what wonderful texture and dimension you get with these 3D embossing folders. Like a lot of the embossing folders, you can actually use the reverse side if you want and get a little bit different look. So that is the 3D Brickwork embossing folder. As far as the other dies from this release that we have in stock, we still have the decor frames. This is also a Biggs die, so it means that you can use it to cut out heavier materials like chipboard or thin metal and make some really amazing frames out of this. This is the Media Marks die, and it is $20, and you get just all of these fun elements. Now, really only 3 of these elements actually cut something out. This kind of really thin, amazing scribble here cuts out, and you can see here these loopy scallops cut out. And then down here, this kind of scribbly circles cuts out. These others do not actually cut out the rectangles or squares all they do is they cut out those little patterns they see on the inside. So that means you can place it wherever you want on your project and cut those out. And I take that back. There's a few little squigglies up there that cut out. But that means you could cut out repeating rows of these if you want to. We have kind of like the little arrows or chicken scratches there. We have just the dashes, the crosses, the kind of wonky circles. Here we have kind of some teardrop shapes. And then here cuts out those lines. And I will show you here at the end some samples using some of these dies and show you some of the fun things that you can do with that. On Saturday, I showed you that we had the original Doodle Art die, and this is the second one. It is Doodle Art 2. It's different than the first one. It is $17, and this makes a really fun die to just use over a background. We also have the latest Tile Stacklets dies. Originally came out with the hexagons, and this is the circles. And you can see you get 5 different sizes of circles, and you get 5 each of each size. You could see that up there sort of in the picture, which means that it's really easy to create backgrounds or cut lots of this repeating shape out at one time. And there is also the Tile Stacklets in the squares, which is the same idea. And both of those are $20. They are Thinlits dies. This one is such a sweet little die. It is only $13. It is called Feathered Friends, and you get various layers. I know it is hard to see. This packaging seems to be printed so lightly, but you can see up there you get your base bird layers, then you get a larger layer, and then you get the wings. So in some ways this almost kind of works like those 3D decoupage designs do, that you can cut them out of different colors of paper and layer them together to get these really interesting looking little birds. And they would work perfectly with the Funky Wreath die. This one you get 2 individual wreath shapes, and you also get some individual pieces that you can use to add to and build out the fullness of your wreath. This is the Funky Wreath die, and it is $20. And finally, we do still have all of the new colorized dies in stock. These again are dies that let you layer to create some really amazing dimensional looking works. And these are so much fun. This one is Clarence. You can see you get a lot of pieces, but they are all numbered to kind of give you an idea of which pieces you should cut out with which color. So they really do try and kind of walk you through the process by the way they number the dies. This is Clarence, and he is $30. This is Gertrude the giraffe, and she is also $30. And finally, we have Winifred the zebra, and again, $30. And keep in mind that you could turn this into a horse just by leaving these stripes off, because that is a separate piece to the base piece. I have one more thing to show you, but let me go ahead and show you some samples, and then I will show you our very last thing for this evening. So let me get this turned on here so I can show you. So first of all, I just wanted to show you some samples from the alloys and from the embossing glazes. This is an alcohol ink piece, and you can see there that that metallic in there is from the alloys. It is a very cool look. They're not like the mixatives. They are very different. They kind of tend to more kind of clump together and create almost a veining effect in your work. And here, I think you can see some more there. Up there where that blue is, you can see some of the gold. And then let me get down here and show you some samples with the embossing glazes. So here you can see the glazes, and you can see how they are translucent. There is the antique linen, and it's done over a stamped tag and also on one of Tim's paper dolls. And even though they add color, you can still see what is underneath it. So take that back. That is Tattered Rose up there. I thought that was antique linen. but that is the Tattered Rose. I think that must be Antique Linen down there in the corner. I think this one here is Walnut Stain, and there is Rusty Hinge and Fired Brick. We had all of those colors. And let's go here, and I'm going to also, in addition to some of the dies I showed you today, I'm going to point out some samples for some of the dies that we still have in stock that I showed you in Saturday's store tour. So if you missed that one, you can go back and watch it. But here you can see on the left were the Bottles die. It is a Biggs die that we had in stock. And here you can see they've added some labels to them and filled them with all kinds of potions. And then here is the vintage typewriter, or it might be called the retro typewriter, and we do have that in stock. And then here, I think that might be called the bouquet background. You can see there with that flower background, that is a die cut that you can see behind there. So those are some of the dies I showed on Saturday. We do still have those in stock. Here is a great sample of those baggage claim dies. Aren't those amazing looking? Especially like this one here, all rusty and dirty looking. There you can use some pattern paper or stamp on it. Lots of fun things to do with the baggage claim die. Here on the left you can see one of our little feathered friends, and that's been combined with one of the funky wreath dies. And some of these I'll skip because I know I don't have them anymore. There is another one of the feathered friends, kind of in a monochromatic look. So here you can see the new colorized dies. You can see Gertrude and Clarence and Winifred there. Over on the right is Theodore. He came out in Chapter 1. But I also want to point out the use of the Media Marks dies on here. The grass underneath the giraffe is from that. Down here, the ground that Clarence is standing on is from Media Marks. The sun up there in the sky is one of the Media Marks dies. You can see the little scribbly over here is from the Media Marks. So lots and lots of different ways you can use that die. Here is another sample of Winifred the zebra, and you can see that background was created with the stacked circle dies. I think that is an amazing background. Layered some of them together to almost get that ring effect. You can also see their baggage claim, and here's more of baggage claim with Gertrude there. Some more baggage claim. Looks like they've got lots of travel labels on it. Here's another one with one of the paper dolls sitting on the bags. That is a really awesome die. Here we can see the zebra again. You can see that how dimensional that looks, and that's just by choosing the paper colors to get your shadows and your highlights. And again, the die really walks you through that on which layers you should cut from what colors of paper. Here is another sample using the Feathered Friends. I think that one is really sweet. I can also see here the Media Marks die kind of used as a filler down here. Here we've got more Feathered Friends, and that is the cutout leaves background, which was from Chapter 1. I showed that on Saturday. We do still have that die in stock. There is one using the Funky Wreaths and also the Scribbly Butterflies, which is a Chapter 1 release that we have in stock. See what else we have in here. Oh, there is the retro typewriter, and once again you can see the Media Marks there in the background, just providing a little bit of interest. And I don't have any of these, so we're going to go ahead and go buy them. Some of these are kind of more Valentine's Day, but there you can see Winifred again. And there you can see Happy Hour. How much fun is that? And some more Happy Hour. And there we've got some more Feathered Friends and Funky Wreaths. And here is another sample with the Bottles die. This time they've turned them into vases. And oh, here is a really great example. I'm not sure if this is with the original doodle art or the new one, but they have used that and made this lacy box top, and I think that is just really, really amazing. Oh, there they used the circles tiles to cut out multiple tiles and create this wonderful wall hanging. All right, my phone's telling me it's about time to quit, but I have one more thing I wanted to show you. We got back in more of the Distress Ink storage tins. When I got these in the first time, they sold out in less than a day, and this is the first time I have been able to get them back in. They've been on back order for quite a while, and so I was really happy to get these in. Each one of these storage tins will hold 15 of your regular Distress or Distress Oxide inks. These hold the full-size pads. You can see there, they hold them nice and upright. You can see what you have, see your labels if you put them on the sides of them. Each tin is $12.50. So if you want one of those, be sure and let me know. You may not want me to ship these, so if you ask me to ship the rest of your stuff but want me to hold on to this, then just let me know that. I am happy to ship it, but this might add a little bit more to the shipping costs, so that is your choice. But if I don't ship it, I'll be sure and hold on to it for you. But if you do want one of these or want more than one of these, I urge you to go ahead and grab them while I have them, because once they're gone, I'm not sure how soon I will be able to get them back in again or not. So I'm going to turn my alarm off and see if anybody has any questions for me. Again, feel free to go back and rewatch the video, and if you see something you want, go ahead and comment on the video. Even after the live video is over, I'll go back and read the comments. If you haven't purchased from me before, go ahead and message me with your email address so that I can send you your invoice and your shipping address if you want me to mail things to you. Definitely go back if you want to and watch Saturday's store tour video again. I sold out of some stencils, but I still have quite a few. I've got most of the dies that I showed you in there of the Tim Holtz Chapter 1 dies. I still have most of those in stock. So you can always go back and shoot me a message or an email, Jen@InkPaperRubber, and let me know what you want, and we will get you taken care of. Plan to be back with you on Saturday. There is a new little mini Tailored Expressions release that actually released today, and I should have it tomorrow. I probably will just wait and show that to you on Saturday. It is a graduation and teacher appreciation release. If you want to go check out the Tailored Expressions blog and see what was in the release, you can do that, and you can message me or email me if there's something you would like. I did order everything from that release, so I should have it in. Also urge you to go back and maybe watch from last week the Tailored Expression Mother's Day and Spring release. A lot of those items are going to be shipped back here this week. I may keep some of them, but I'm going to take advantage of their buyback program since we're not open right now to ship some of those that haven't sold back. So if there is something you want from that, be sure and check that out in the next day or two and let me know. I think that will do it for right now. Hopefully we will see you all on Saturday. I hope you have a good rest of your week, and we'll talk to you then. Goodbye.